Okay, we did this one for the assignment, and there's not really a better way to do that. I don't really have anything to add. Just looking at this, the optional about the symmetric about the center line says it's in millimeters, but these are pretty much inch dimension values. I think I'm just going to bypass this one for now. This one has some good geometry. It's not symmetric, so we have to kind of go through that same process. So let's see what happens if I have enough room to kind of shrink that down at the lower part of my screen. So let's jump on over to, it's going to be metric part, front plane, and sketch. And we're going to make a long rectangle. And the height is 60, and the length is 330. Okay, let's try the other 330 with a 0 on it. All right, that's a little bit better. And we'll go with the line, and we have the 10 millimeters at the base, the 180 millimeters overall. We're 70 off of the edge, so object to object. And then we're going to go back into the line. We'll pull that back. And watch out for that midpoint. Nothing I can really do with that except complete it and then undo it. But watch out with the undo even, because there are times where it's going to undo more than you would really like. So this one is giving me the chain dimensions where I can do the 12.81. I just can't move the mouse while I'm putting that value in there. All right, and that kind of shifted me into, oh, now I'm into arc mode. So the continuous arc, if I get back to the center, no. All right, so we're just going to escape out of that, go back into line. One of the reasons I don't like putting the dimensions in so much is that they are overwriting each other or running on top of each other. So let's get that one out of the way. And apparently missed the 3. All right, so goal is to get this close, get the relations pretty well figured out, and then we'll come back and do our cleanup as we're building in the geometry. 53.99. We have the 37, except I missed second 8. 12.81, we're going to have the 19 point, and how easy it is to miss a number. Let's see, 53.99, 53.99. We could put a vertical dimension on there, but depending on what this does, there's a good possibility that we do want to keep those separate. Since this inverted, we're going to just grab a point and drag it back a bit. And what is the 37.8? So I put that on the line. It was actually from the point. So let's see if we can do that. Drag the extension line. And then once the extension line is placed again, we'll go with that. So 37.19. And I'm not seeing oh, I guess that was just a selection. All right, so back into the smart dimension, it jumped off the screen there. So right click, smart dimension, 18.68. That's looking pretty good. All right, just a real quick check. 37, 88, 1281, 18.68, 19.53, 3719, 539. Okay, so back into the S key, circle. We had, take a guess and go 15, but I need to fly this in. Oh, of course they're 20. 20 with a spacing. Oh, I missed a notch. So let's go ahead and get the notch in there before I do the pattern. Now to stay with the S key, line, over. Should be putting those in. So 10. All right, so that one missed the coincidence, but I can grab that endpoint, drag it up until I see the little yellow box with the coincident. And then our distance is 80. And object to object, 110. All right, we can double click on the dimension, update it to 20. It is 30 off of, so let's clear out somewhere here. 30, and then we'll drag that one in, 20 off of the edge. All right, and then we're looking at the total number of instances. So they're giving us 7 by 38 for a total of 266. All right, but the total number of holes is 8. So depending on the software you are in, it could either be how many you're adding in addition to the first instance or the total number of instances. With SolidWorks, we're doing the total number of instances. So 8 with a distance of 38. Check that. 38. Oh, watch those numbers. That'll get it. All right. So dimension the X spacing should be good there. If I want to put in a driven dimension as a error checker, since I did miss that number, then that one looks pretty good. All right, so extrude boss base, we have a thickness of 12. We're going to pick the region and accept, and then save. And then now we're going to jump over to 1-14. All right, let's close that. See what the next one is. All right, the hole locations. All right, looking at this one, this is my first out of this group that I can really justify that these holes need to be put in as separate, because our next page is going to have a table for each of those locations, and we're already going to have some complexity in this shape. So let's do the outside, and then we're going to introduce the cut extrude. So new part, we are in metric. We'll do the front plane. Let's go ahead and sketch this out up of 37.28. Do we have an over? Well, let's go this way and we can put in the 40 point. And then we're not going to be able to do anything with that one. Up over 19.3. 28.67, coming back. And then this one also has those fun angles, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in because I have a pretty good habit of getting at least one perpendicular or parallel into that mix, whether I wanted to or not. All right, so there's a vertical. Let's just go ahead and look at these. So there's my parallel, and I do not want that parallel. So if I pick on the object, I'm going to see the parallel. Or if I pick on the object, I'll see the two boxes and can delete that way. All right, so let's go ahead and pick up our other dimensions, 60.74. And our overall height was 118. So I try to get the kind of the limits or the extents of our geometry out of the way so that, well, it's scale-wise, less chance of it inverting itself, doing some of those weird things. All right, so 21.93. What else do we have? The 94.51. We have a 50. See, that's looking pretty good. And we're into angles. All right, so with an angle, we're going to stay in the smart dimension, and any two non-parallel lines are going to generate an angle dimension. So there's 40, and because that one moved, that also means that in addition to the perpendicular, I got a parallel. All right, so 28. Go ahead and finish some of these out. 28.81. And then it says it's fully defined, but when I go back over here and I see the parallel, because I was picking this one, I wouldn't necessarily have seen both of those. Um, that didn't show up. We'll go back over here, and depending on where I place this dimension is whether I get the included angle, the adjacent angle, the compound, the angles. Pick the one that looks like the best view on the drawing. Yep, missed something. 236.99. Let's try that one more time. 236.99. All right. So that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and extrude boss. We're going to get our thickness of 20. Hit OK. And then we'll open up the next sketch. So here I picked on the face, and I can go directly into the sketch. If we went back to sketch and just entered sketch, we would be picking that face. So any planar face is a valid sketch location. All right, and let's check the table, but they're all 10 millimeters, so we don't have to worry about that so much. So I'm going to draw the first one. We'll just kind of rough position in here. A1 says it's on that side. I don't have to draw them in that order necessarily, but we'll get one started. Yep. And escape, escape. Let's go ahead and get a dimension on it. All right. This is a good place to use the Windows Control-C copy and the Control-V paste. So highlighting that circle and hitting Control-C, then coming down here and hitting Control-V, clicking over here, Control-V, clicking up here, Control-V, clicking here, Control-V. All right, you get the idea. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a total of 7. All right, now the fun part in setting this is I could end up with a bunch of baseline dimensions. We also need to figure out where this is generated from. So the XY datum is off of this point, which I made the origin. So this is also going to lend itself on the whole table to this ordinate dimension scheme. So let me fly that one back in. All right, now we're going to have to I'm going to have to remember which ones are which, or yeah, we'll get them once we apply the dimensions. It'll be fine. All right. So under our dimension, we have horizontal, vertical. I can't ever remember which is which. I just go into ordinate dimension, pick my 0, start picking my horizontals, and get all of the circles selected. All right, we get that in place. Then I can go back in, pick the ordinate dimension. We're going to pick a vertical, no, we're going to pick the horizontal element this time. And we'll go through and pick these guys. All right, so I know that this one is A1. A1 is 1.22. And it's going to keep kicking this out. So 1.22 by 5714. All right, and then let's go find A2. Oh, wrong way. A2 is up. Are these going any? So it's kind of going left to right. A4, A5, A6. All right. We'll give that a thought as our strategy. Well, I blew that one up a little bit. All right, so double clicking on A2, we're at 84.04. And then its dimension is going to be 10.27. And looking like it's going to let me drag that one. Oh, and then the other thing, since this didn't go fully defined, this is the control V is not going to automatically set those to equal. So let's go from left to right. So we pick inside of the box, and it does not get the dimensions. All right, so let's see, A3 should be 15. And its height is 25. All right, and then A4, 75.51 and 38.51. That jumped over quite a bit. Make sure I didn't miss something there. Let's see if we can rejog those. So there is a display option, and if we tell it to rejog, no? All right, we'll just drag it out then. You can always drag one of the dimensions. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to give that to me per se. So let's see, what is A7? I'll jump over to it, 101.88. And if we zoom up on those, 46.50. Now in this case, we do have the two that are the same. So A6 and A7. I have to go back to this. So A5, A6. So it is a little better when these are on the same sheet. So that was the 39 point. No, that was the 38.51. I thought that one was okay. Now let's go with the 46.5, 38.51, and then the A6. All right, well, at least let me drag that one off. So which one am I missing? The 29, looks like that one goes 25. So we have two that are at 25 that I could put horizontal relations on. And then the 52. Well, let's see if we can get this sorted out. A6 is in there, A5, A6. 38.51. So I've got a couple of duplicate dimensions here that are, nope, that was the horizontals. So E6, 52.63. And then the A5 should have been so I think I got those reversed. All right, this is where the dual screens would have come in handy. So what am I missing here? I got A5, A6 goes that way, A4. $75.51. There it is, 32.38 for A4. And then that one was the A5, 38.51. So the downside to the ordinate then is that, well, I still think I messed that one up. That one moved A7. Ah, okay, I got those all twisted up, so be careful with the ordinance. And we'll get that one sorted out here. A7 was the 46.5. And then, which was the other 46? A6 was 46.5. Okay, so that one's good, that one's good. And use those zooms. All right, I think I got something that looks pretty close. Now we're going to cut through after going through all of that. Let's go ahead and extrude cut through all. I don't want to think about what the thickness is. If the thickness changes, if I did the blind in condition of 20 and I change it to 25, then I've got partial, not quite through holes. All right, so watch out for the ordnance. That's a good example of being able to track and look through the noise, but there's a lot going on in this one.